conscience. So I just immersed myself in the world of St. Sabina and spent time with Father Mike and his peacekeepers and the community there, and tried to learn as much as I could.
We love you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, you know, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
My participation is only because of Mr. Spike Lee, our leader, our director, and he reached out to me and blessed me with the opportunity to be in this film and said that his mission was to save lives in the south side of Chicago.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. Started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, let me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
We are more than that. We are more than that. We're greater than that. And I feel like in places like this, or Chicago, or whatever you want to call it, the hood, whatever you want to call it, like, it's too much attention dwelled on the negative.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Hi, we're from Empire, and you're watching the Higher Learning Network.
So how long have you been standing here?
Not too long, like an hour. So we're moving in fast. This is a good sign.
Yo, what's up? It's your man, Tony Schofield from 106.3 Chicago's R&B, and you are watching Men on Higher Learning. Now, I used to hang around with some men that was into some higher learning. It just wasn't that kind of higher learning, but I got myself together now, okay?
What is it that you do in your quiet time, in your meditation time, that allows you to bring us the films that you do?
I sit courtside in Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naimah Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naimah Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Zdravstvucie. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Saubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with ZeldaSpeaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Experience mindfulness moments with the Mindfulness/Stress Relief Coach, ZeldaSpeaks. And thanks for sharing the Mindfulness Moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of Mindfulness on Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
My sister's looking so beautiful this morning. I don't know how she gets up and does the 5:55 in the morning. I'm sorry, sis. I just don't know how you do it. And then look good doing it at that. I was like, how do you get up and get this beautiful this morning? I just don't understand it. How do you do it? What's your secret, girl?
Well, I set my alarm for 4 a.m. So what happens is 4 and 5, I'm kind of meditating on the message and so forth. And then I'm guided to select a YouTube video to highlight for a particular message. And then I set my alarm for 2 minutes before 5:55 so I can, get my thoughts and face and everything together. And then, by the time the alarm goes off, I'm sitting in the chair and ready to roll. And it's really, I did this as a challenge to myself. I'm trying to correct some timing issues I've had. So what I seek to do is to organize myself to be able to be in front of the computer at 5:55, ready to go, so that I can be consistent. So that's one of the personal challenges that I've given myself in order to be able to do this, and also to highlight those people who I know are also inspired to give message, whether they're channels messages or their own reflections or whatever is happening, but I know that they have a mission. And so I want to amplify the voices of enlightenment by promoting them, and then also adding my commentary, which I let the universe speak through me and say what needs to be said to help us as we go through this very challenging time we're experiencing. And I know it's for a purpose. And so, you and all our other great team of hosts, every day we're giving people a different perspective on life, which will help them see things differently. When you listen to the other news that gives you all the bad things that happen, all the terrible things people have done, and it's so depressing, and you get the mistaken impression that the world really is a bad place and everybody hates everybody. But it's really only maybe 20% of the people that are out of order. 80% of the people are doing kind things and are being loving and considerate. 80% of the people really are. It's that 20% that's still a little bit disconnected from the rest of us. And we have to lovingly, as Mama D says, love souls into shape. So we have to help bring them back. And in the meantime, for those who have been affected by their behavior, we have to help the rest of us forgive and be compassionate. So that's our goal.
And being forgiving is one of the ways that I've learned, Naimah, is to, it not only opens your heart, but it opens the heart of the other person.
Yes.
Because right now, a lot of our hearts are closed because we're being judgmental. These are great times. I know, despite all the chaos that's going on, these are great times because we're learning lessons we ordinarily would not learn if things were normal, so to speak.
Yeah, so-called normal, that abnormal that we have come to accept as being normal. We accept a lot of meanness in our lives as a way, and then people just say, "Oh, that's just reality." Well, we're creating reality. So now we have a chance to recreate reality. We should not have any meanness in our midst. I was reading today that Mayor Lori Lightfoot has asked the utility companies not to do any shutoffs at this time, because people shouldn't be choosing between eating and heating or eating and electricity. Let all of the people have their lights and gas and not be in distress because they don't have money, because they haven't been working, because the economy has gone on a tailspin. So in doing that, that was an act of compassion, but these things also enlighten us to the reality that we should not ever have systems that could be shut off and cause people to sit in their homes and freeze to death, or sit in their homes and have their refrigerators down so that all their food spoils so they can't eat. We should have a system where these things are automatically a part of what everyone has as a right. If we're in a civilized society, you provide for the needs of all the people. That's what a government does, a right government, not trying to profit off of people's pain and suffering and pit people against each other, the haves against the have-nots.
Yes, ma'am.
So that the people who don't have are stealing from the people who do. The right way of being is to provide what everyone needs. And then you give people a chance to excel, let them use their creative skills and achieve more. But to have people fighting for basic survival is not civil. No. And we never should have had a system where something like utilities, where everybody needs, unless you're gonna live off of chopped up wood, and we're not doing that anymore, since we have systems in place where electricity is a necessity. It should be something that is provided and not something that people could lose and then struggle and end up homeless and suffering. So her doing that helps to illuminate us to that reality. Oh, you know what? It should have been this way all the time.
Yes.
We should have never been worried about getting the gas cut off.
Yes.
Our children have to sit around in coats and blankets. That should never have been.
Thank you. But it was.
But it was. So we're evolving to a new normal where we're realizing we have to create systems that take care of people and not look at how we can profit off of people and cause distress if they don't have enough money.
But to help people. It is our responsibility as human beings. You are right on target. We are responsible for our brother, whether we want to recognize it or not. We are.
We are.
We didn't come here, we may have been birthed alone, but we are responsible for each other. And somewhere along the way, somebody got a little big-headed and they are dead and gone, and we are still carrying on that dead tradition.
Yes.
And speaking of traditions, it is the traditions of the Thanksgiving season, Thanksgiving season, that we must come to grips with what is going on in our communities on a daily basis. And when you talked about the food spoiled in the refrigerator, that was a perfect transition to our topic today. What happens when the lights go out? And as I'm searching on Google for tips to share this morning, the first thing that I see is a checklist of what to do when the lights go out. And it's from ComEd, okay, of course. But then as I'm reading it and I'm saying to myself, okay, that's for a physical light that goes out. What about the light inside here in our head and in our hearts? What about when those lights go out? And it appears to me right now, Naimah, that there are a lot of dim lights walking around in the world, because we have developed what Brother Kwame Sunhorse calls AD, ascension development. We are striving to elevate our consciousness, but because of the facial diaper that we're wearing, and I know that's going to piss a whole lot of folks off, but oh well. I heard that term and I was like, wow, that's gross. A diaper on your face. But if you think about it,
facial diaper.
Facial diaper. It is masking the pain. It is masking the fear. It is masking all of that which we are feeling inside. So it's like you're shitting in your face. Oh, I'm sorry. You're pooping your own face. You think about it, because you're breathing in supposedly oxygen, but you're breathing in the carbon monoxide. Now, is that not waste?
Well, you know, I think when it was on Viyahta show last night, I think it was pointed out that when you breathe out, you're breathing out toxins. And so if you have a mask on, then you're keeping the toxins in.
You breathe them back in.
It's a facial diaper, you know, all the weight is still being held on your face.
Yes.
And you're breathing it back in.
Yes.
So it's going to make you sick eventually.
Yes.
You cannot breathe it out.
Yes. So that's why I don't understand why people can't get it. And then I'm listening to Viyahta and you, of course, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the lesson for me, not to be judgmental against the people who are wearing, because I have to wear them when I go to the gym, when I go out, is that we do what's comfortable for us. And listening to Viyahta last night, I was like, how can I develop a continue to ascend and not be judgmental of people who wear them 24/7?
That's the challenge, is to not
That's a real
be
challenge.
judgmental of people who have been affected by the fear
Yes,
mongering.
and are dying.
And because if you have a friend that dies, it's going to affect you.
Of course.
But, you know, one of the things I said in my 555 message this morning about death is that we come here with an exit plan. And there are many people who chose to exit at this time because this is a good time to teach a lesson of appreciation of people while they're here.
Yes.
If you appreciate people while they're among you, then you don't grieve when they leave.
Say that, girl. You better say that again.
Yes. If you appreciate people while they're here, then
Come
you
on
don't
now.
grieve when they leave.
Yes, ma'am. Say that one more time. 3 times is good.
If you appreciate people while they're here, you won't grieve when they leave.
I love it. And I think, Naimah, when we go to funerals and memorials, I think the only reason why we cry is because everybody there is crying. And that energy, we pick up that energy.
You do. It's contagious. And also, your heart is touched if this is somebody that you really love.
Yes.
Your heart is touched that they left, and your heart is touched because perhaps you didn't express it.
Yeah.
How much you
Yeah.
really cared.
Yeah.
And now you feel it. You know, this
Yeah.
is somebody special to me, and I didn't tell them.
Yeah.
So the more you realize that you didn't say what you should have said, the greater the grief is because they're gone, and you're feeling like, now I can't tell them. So when my sister recently lost a close friend of hers and a physician, and she said, you know, I just appreciated her so much, and I feel so bad that she's gone. And I said, well, she can still hear you, because now that she's in the non-physical, she's not confined by 5 senses inside a body. So in your mind, speak to her and tell her how much you love her.
Right. She hears you.
She hears you.
She hears you.
And that made her feel a lot better, because that's one of the reasons why people, you see them at a grave of a loved one and then just, ah!
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you didn't show your love when they did.
Yeah.
And you feel bad because you realize how much you really did love them. And maybe you didn't even get a chance to make amends before they passed away. I remember when my husband, he was in his last moments, and he had an argument with an associate of ours, and the brother called up and said, I need to talk to him. I need to say I'm sorry before he leaves here. I won't be able to live with myself. Can he still hear me? Can he still talk? I said, well, he can't speak anymore, but I'm going to put the phone up to his ear so he can hear you. And I put the phone up to my husband's ear, and, you know, and brother poured his heart out and everything. You know, I really love you, brother. I'm sorry what I did. And, you know, I'm sorry for the words between us. And I really admire you. I mean, just said all the things he needed to say. And then when he was done, you know, my husband had a really pleasant look on his face, like he brought him some peace hearing that. And I said to him, I said, he heard you. And he said, peace. He said, oh, I'm so glad. Thank you. I would have been devastated if he had passed away and I had not made amends for the rift.
Yes.
So, I mean, those things matter. And this is why, you know, if you're married, don't let your spouse leave the house and y'all mad at each other because they get in a car accident and you come back, oh, you'll be grieving forever.
Okay. I don't want that on my soul. I don't want that on my spirit, because that alone. I met a lady last week, 77 years young. Looks good too, girl. 77. I was like, ooh, girl, I want to look like you when I get 77. She had on this black cat suit.
Ooh.
Where you going? It's the place where I volunteer. You know where I volunteered on the side at the food pantry. And I was like, girl, where you going looking this good in the middle of the day? What, you got a date or something? Like, no, girl, I'm just trying to feel good for me because I'm so depressed.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way to feel better. Dress up for you.
Yeah. I said, but you can't look at you and tell you that you feel depressed. So keep doing what you're doing. Eventually, you may look in the mirror and like yourself and love yourself and feel better about yourself. But in the meantime, in between time, come on in here and get this food and we'll talk about it later, okay? But she was a sweetheart. So getting back to how we treat ourselves, we have got to come to the conclusion that when the lights go out, we've got to turn on our inner light. And how do we do that? The lights on the outside. We ain't talking about calling ComEd, talking about whoever your light person is, if you're in the South or whatever country you in, Exxon, whoever. When that light begins to dim inside, what do you do?
Well, you know, one thing that the young lady of what 77 said, you gotta lift your spirits. And a lot of times the tendency is for us to look all raggedy when we feel bad because the outside will mirror the inside. So you gotta look good. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I get up in the morning and kind of dress up a little bit to do this early morning thing, because I want to start the day looking and feeling fresh, you know, and cheering myself up kind of a bit, you know. Okay, let me look cute early in the morning.
Right.
And that does matter. Look good for you. You're worth looking good for.
Thank you.
You're worth looking beautiful for. Enjoy looking at yourself. It's not bad to be vain. You know, vanity is good. Yeah, I like how I look. Because if you like how you look, you're going to project good feelings about yourself. And then also, you don't have a problem complimenting another woman because you're not feeling inferior. You know, you feel good about yourself and you can say to her, oh, girl, you're looking sharp today. And not feel like, oh, she thinks she's better than me. Because see, that's comes from low self-esteem. But when you feel good about yourself, then you spread that good feeling to other people, and you can compliment other people and lift them up as well. So that's one thing to do.
Like yesterday on our weekly Sisters of the Microphone call.
Yeah.
Wendy came on and Wendy had makeup on. It was
looking she looked cute.
She's like, girl, I ain't getting dressed up for nobody. I got dressed up for me. I was like, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's what
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Because when you look in the mirror, you need to see something that reflects how you feel inside. Yeah. And if you don't feel good inside, you got to make up. You don't have to wear makeup. That's why I just put a little little lipstick on. It's like I automatically feel better. And that's not to say that I'm less without it. I just see something different, and it makes me smile.
Yeah,
we need to do something to make ourselves smile.
Because it makes your teeth look brighter. I noticed. I'm like, oh, my teeth look white when I wear a little lipstick.
Okay. It is such.
You do that, yeah.
It is such a blessing to know that we are awakening minds.
Yes.
We have been blessed with this platform to help people see a better, brighter, beautiful version of themselves, because one of the most important things that we can do in this time right now is to stop looking outside of ourselves. TV, radio, except this TV show and radio. And, you know, unless it's something to enlighten your spirits. Many of us are home all day looking at movies on TV. Well, there's nothing wrong with looking at movies. I saw a great movie last night with Felicia Rashad, The Black Box. Talk about taking your mental thoughts, oh my goodness, to a whole new level. You know, Felicia Rashad ain't no punk.
Oh yeah, I love it.
It's on Netflix. You have got to go see this movie, Black Box. You talk about a different consciousness. OMG, I don't want to give it away. I'm not going to say spoiler alert because I'm not saying nothing else. All I'm saying is go see that movie. Get Netflix. If you don't have it, take a trial, and you can't afford it, cancel it before it's due. I'm saying you need to see this movie because it makes us think about how what's going on in here could be in this cup. Ooh,
Yeah, it could be in this cup. So if we can program what's going on in here, it will give us a different way of looking out there.
Yes.
It's like we're taking off the blinders, even though I can't see that well without my glasses, but you get my point.
Oh, yeah.
You get my point.
Yes. Well, that's another thing to do when the lights go out inside. You really have to create a different inner vision.
Yes.
That takes some practice, because if you have been inputting into your mind all the negative images, all the sad, depressing, fearful things, then what materials do you have to work with? You only have your own images that you put in your own mind to work with. So you have to put some different images in your mind. Now, I love to watch movies that make me laugh, you know, and I think some channels I watch I watch the game show, you know, I'll sit there and watch Steve Harvey on Family Feud all day long and just laugh and laugh.
Well, you can laugh, which is the best medicine. People have been cured of cancer just by laughing.
Just by laughing. So, you know, I watch those. I watch the, the Hallmark Channel. You got the little love stories, you know, and those always end, always a happy ending and wonderful love story. That makes me happy, you know. So it's things that can lift my spirits, as opposed to watching some show where somebody got mutilated, or, you know, just all the sad, horrible stuff. I don't put it in my head. I don't put images of violence in my head, because, I mean, why would I do that? I don't want to see it in real life. I don't want to see a simulation of it. I choose not to see those kinds of movies.
Because it's embedded in our tissues. That's why we have issues in our tissues. Look at all the garbage we're allowing in. As much as I love ramen noodles, I can't eat them. Because they make me ache, make my joints ache, because it's plastic. Ooh. I'm just saying.
They told me that. I'm like, oh.
They didn't lie. They did not lie. Disclaimer. So if they decide to come after me, that's what happened to me. Okay. And I will go.
Y'all like plastic? It's okay. We ain't saying don't eat plastic. I just won't eat plastic. Even if you wanna.
It's 7:58. If you just joined us this morning, I do hope you have taken the opportunity to do your breathing this morning. If you haven't, you can always go back to the archives and hear it at the very beginning. But I'm joined by my sister of the microphone, Naimah Latif, executive producer of The Female Solution. And we're talking about what happens when the lights go out.